It's Josie's boy.
Yo, welcome to
Talkin Bout
with Mr. Delgado and Qwodie. Season 2 underway, episode 1. You know what I'm saying? Season 1 was
new
a good
season,
one.
new season.
Had a lot of fun. We got the homie back with us, HounD, you know what I'm saying? Once again. And we got a special guest in here tonight.
Very, very special.
Poet, author, real motherfucker, my man Donald Burnham.
Yo, what's going on?
Now, for, you know what I mean, our viewers that might not know you, there's people watching right now, I know you know that, you know what I mean? But for people watching that might not know the homie, you know what I mean, just tell them a little bit about yourself, who you are, what you rap.
My name D. If you from Homestead, you from Braddock, Kern. But, you know, been out here 30 years, and I'm here, period. And, you know, I'm here for a reason, because I learned something. So hopefully we can learn something. If not, you know, swipe to the next video.
Missing out.
Missing
out.
You know what I mean?
Hey, stay lost, you know what I mean? But your poetry is some deep shit. Some real shit, you know what I mean?
It's like, you know how somebody say they got a singer in their family and you hear them and they be like, oh, they alright. His shit, when you hear his shit, it's like he's a professional.
Nah, yeah, it's like
he's a professional already.
it's deep on the level to and it's some shit that like you can feel, you feel it, you know what I'm saying? When even if it's something you ain't directly go through, like you still seen it before, you heard it before, you feel it. It's like, to me, I feel like if Scarface wasn't a rapper and was a poet, it would be some of the shit that you'd be spitting.
It's like
you know what I'm saying?
Everyone I hear you drop, like it make me want to share it. Like, you know what I'm saying? It's like when you hear an album and you don't want to hit skip.
Sometimes when I hear some of this shit, I be wanting to make a beat.
I be wanting to ask him, like, can I take that and put it into a verse? Like,
You know what's crazy though? I'm not aware of what I'm doing until I read it back to myself. That's a fact. Like, it for real. I know I come up with a line, and it has to be a quote, a catch, something that people remember in their childhood. It's always usually a metaphor is my first line. Because that's how it catch you, because you remember it, the familiarity of it. But then once I catch you with the first line, my brain flow.
So
but when I read it back to myself, I learn.
So it's like you getting caught up in the words. Like
no, I'm too stupid to listen to myself, so my brain tell me when I will listen. That's when I'm writing.
Oh, okay.
You
let me ask you this: do you come up with the quotes yourself, or is it quotes that you heard?
No, because you know there's famous quotes that we follow. Like Nipsey used a lot of shit we know. So a lot of stuff I know, but then a lot of stuff is painting coming out for real.
And then there's times where like me and him might be here and we talking about something, right? And then he'll leave, and then a couple days later it'll be like, hey, remember yesterday when we was talking about so and so? Check this out. And they'll have a whole, you know what I'm saying? Like a whole, they're like an essay on this shit, you know what I'm saying? Like,
so is a lot of this shit that you write based on like your life and the experiences you experienced in your life?
Everything is your life though. How I relate to him and how we affect each other is my life, so I'm feeling his pain because we together.
Okay.
So I can't say it's my life, or I can't say everything is an example of what I've been through, but everything is an example of what I know and felt. I ain't got to feel my pain to learn.
Yeah.
If you make a mistake and I fuck with you, I felt you, so I can't do that.
Yeah.
So it ain't about watching yourself, it's about watching everything. So my poetry is everything. It's the shit I can't say out loud, but my heart will.
Yeah.
That's how I learn when I read it back, because they ain't on the same wave. My heart is why I survive. My brain is why I'm alive. And that's the difference.
I relate to that with raps. Because I got a lot of raps that I write, and sometimes I don't write them to like put out as a song.
Or just on some like journal type
shit.
Yeah.
I never thought of poetry. Just come out as a verse or something.
Now my question, because I was going to ask you, well, I mean, it's kind of like a two-part question almost, because I was going to ask you what your motivation or inspiration was to do poetry, but then based off of what you said, made me want to ask you, was that your reason because you felt like, I can't say this out loud, so let me just express it this way, and then it just start turning into poems and shit? Or
when everybody here's the thing, when you stuck around 1,000 strangers and you know you can't trust a soul, it don't matter who listening, you don't trust their opinion. So you gotta speak to yourself, you gotta learn yourself. That's the one thing everybody say, and for those that don't know, I did 13 years straight in prison. And you can't survive that with other people. Money don't help you, you just keep wanting more money. So the only thing you gotta do is look in the mirror, and eventually you're gonna be disgusted with yourself if you smart.
So you got inspired to do poetry in prison, or was it something you was always into?
Prison, period. Trying to keep a woman.
That's what I was about to say. Was it like?
No.
I thought it was
keep
like
a woman.
No. That's funny because when I was in the military, nigga, you'd have thought we was in basic training for 15 years. The way niggas was tweaking and missing their woman and shit, and niggas turned into poets writing shit. Because there was the one nigga that used to write shit for niggas to send to their girls. Like
that's
real
funny
fact.
as hell you said that.
So here's I taught a class my last few years. So dudes came to me for that type of advice. They gave me enough. They gave me a trust system where I taught a class as long as I taught their curriculum. I was able to teach my poetry and my books. So a lot of dudes I did that for, and they still got these relationships to this day.
And because it's funny because that's how I got the in the writing
for the class. Like, how did you do it? Like,
I did it because every mistake, my books are my mistakes coming back as lessons. That's all. All my books could be labeled an apology to women, because that's who we shit on, but that's who's there. But we don't care because how much trust you when the first one wasn't shit. You know what I'm saying?
Hey.
And the people ain't gonna say it, but that's the truth. Like,
I don't know what to tell you.
Yeah, what to tell you.
For me,
Nah,
I don't know what to tell you.
and I don't know if like people that do shit like what you doing with your poetry, you know what I mean, I know what it is, but for the people, explain to them what your mission is with your poetry. With the words that you speak.
My mission is to be you. Because if we had pistols or whatever, you stepped in front of us and beat our ass. So I'm not scared of a person that came under me, especially if you came under the person. If you were a kid of a person that came under me, I would never fear you. So I'm not scared to step in front of a pistol to tell them, motherfucker, they wrong. Are you wrong? But they gonna listen because they know my history. So you can't run through me. You can walk away and turn around, but you have to listen or walk away. There is no other option because I'm gonna win. I'm here. I'm 44, and I've survived everything.
Hey.
So and
like niggas like him is essential nowadays because we don't have enough OGs explaining to see what a lot of OGs do is glorify their mistakes and make it seem like it's the shit to these kids. And they think it's the shit and that's the way to go. See, like what you saying is your mistakes is coming back as lessons and you trying to teach people, you know what I mean, through words, whether it be kids or whatever, trying to enlighten motherfuckers on some, hey, like, you know what I mean, like.
See, my ability to help is sad. The reason I can't help is because I never made it out the trench. So the people that turn their back on people, they feel, I can't blame a person for what they do because I never made it to the point they are. I've always been here, so I love the people I'm helping, genuinely. So for me, what other people do, it might be out of disgust because when you sit on a certain level of money so long, you see the real nature of people. We all broke and surviving together. That's love. When you at a level where everybody needs you for a purpose and not yourself, I can't blame the person for being exhausted. Because that's a different level. That's a shit. That's something I don't have experience in because I've always been here.
And everybody in this room,
like what
I
I
know
went
for a
through
fact,
whenever
everybody
I was-
in this room done lent a helping hand or done did something for somebody, and we wasn't all the way right.
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? You know what I mean? We all, I know we all
Most
have
of the
been.
time we're not.
Yeah. Like there's been times where, you know, my pockets might not have been great, but I still loaned money to people and shit. You know what I'm saying? Like still did shit for people. You know what I mean? And I know y'all all got a similar heart, similar, you know what I mean, actions and shit. You know what I mean? Like,
I think for
and it's rare because y'all all know we live in a like we live in a society where it's cool to be grimy. It's cool to be a savage. It's cool to be toxic.
It's cool to be a hoe.
Yeah, and you got motherfuckers thinking like if your relationship ain't toxic, she don't really love you. He don't really love you.
females
You know what I'm
be
saying?
actually
And like this is
inspired
the
for
type
some
of
toxic
bullshit
shit.
that's promoted
Some
on
of
the
them.
internet all day, every day,
Yeah.
and weak-minded motherfuckers live their life based off of this bullshit.
Yeah.
I gotta disagree. You know why? I always tell the story. I took my GED at 13 without studying. I was in the lockup. They said, "Oh, you think you smart? Take this test." I passed. But here's the thing. I hid all that shit because it was weak to me to be smart. So like these kids, I hid myself for 30 years. So when people was like, "Damn, you changed," I didn't. I'm just finally being me.
Yeah.
Because I took my GED at 13 and
So-
studied without pay. I could have been this years ago.
So are you
but
saying
I
that?
hid it.
So you're saying motherfuckers is just being who they are?
No,
And
I'm saying
nowadays
they
it's cool to be that
no,
way?
I'm saying they ignorant because they scared to be who they are. Like me, I chose ignorance because I was scared to shine. I'm a strong, I'm
I
a
feel
strong
you.
nerd.
But what I'm saying though, but with the
Like, for real.
but with the power of the internet and everybody toxic this, savage that, motherfuckers get, you know what I mean? Okay, this is how you supposed to be, and there's people that live their life based off of that.
Beating on the desk. Beating on the desk. Coming soon to YouTube. The Truth TV. Subscribe now.
So here's my point. Social media didn't change anything; it just made it visible. Because my
But I feel you. But I'm just saying the influence of social media do affect people's mindsets and how they move.
Yeah.
There literally is people that will read a post. Like there's bitches that make posts about relationships and fuck niggas this, fuck niggas that. I know these chicks in real life, they're in like happy, stable relationships. Their posts don't reflect their life.
Yeah.
And they're saying shit, and people, bitches is looking at that shit, niggas is looking at that shit and like, I'm telling you, I know people, like they really live their life based off of memes and statuses.
And then they do that with
that's
the music
created
too.
by people that ain't even going through this shit.
And they do that with the music too, because nigga, I just found out that motherfucking like city girls.
Think about that.
Like
A
the
couple
city
years
girls.
ago. Well, no. You're right. You hit. Listen, a couple years ago, every bitch was bad and bougie.
yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Like until another song come out and say, act this way.
Yeah. And what's crazy,
You know what I'm
what's
saying?
funny is the city girls, Young Miami and JT, they all talking about fucking nigga, leave this nigga, only fucking this nigga for this money. And I just fucking found out the bitch is with Diddy. The nigga had a baby on her and she's still with the nigga. She's not doing nothing she's saying in her songs.
Hey, look, you got people money, you could do shit like that.
You know what I'm saying? Megan Thee
Hey, look.
Stallion, it's the same thing. She's been in a happy relationship
Hey,
ever since she stopped fucking
If
with
I
Tory
would have
Lanez.
did that bitch would have left immediately.
Yeah.
And you Puff Daddy,
Yeah.
around.
But I'm just saying, like,
You got a couple dollars.
a lot of these bitches is saying this shit like Cardi B. The whole bitch is married with kids. I don't cook, I don't clean. Guy got this ring and what the motherfucking Offset dude. That motherfucker made a video. Oh, this bitch don't cook, this she don't clean, and she in there vacuuming and shit. Like, man, y'all, these bitches want to listen to.
You know what's crazy? I always got to look at like
And the niggas.
on the other side of the fence. Most women that I know that screaming that shit ain't really freaks. Be good women. They scream that shit to let it out, but when you get them behind closed doors, they shy as hell.
No.
They respectful.
Because I know good women that back in the day used to love fucking Too Short.
Yeah.
Love Too Short.
You know what I mean?
You know what I mean? Like, I know a couple females that thought he was hilarious. Like, we'd be listening to Too Short and they'd be cracking up. You know what I mean? My cuz, she's definitely not a whore. She's definitely a good woman. She thought Too Short was fucking hilarious. Like, but then a lot of his songs she thought was dope. Like, we would ride around listening to Short, and then she might be bobbing her head, and then he'll say something, and she'll crack up. Like, you know what I mean?
See, social media is a different. Social media is more dangerous because it's two things. It releases something in your brain, and it fucks with your ego and your insecurity. So even if you're able to let go of one, you got to keep both. You can't stop two habits at the same time because you need a habit to break a habit. How you want to stop both? So my thing is social media. It's always going to have people the same way because it fuck with your heart and your head at the same time.
I just
and you
try
keep
not to
chasing it on your own.
And we
I've been
watch
trying not to
people,
let shit
and we
on
watch
there
people
get
out
me
here in real
actually
life.
mad.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
We watch people out here in real life online pretend like they got a lot. A whole lot, and then we see them out here in real life, and
They ain't got shit.
I mean, I'm not saying nobody's name, but you know what I'm saying.
No, so here's my thing.
Y'all know who y'all are.
So
Man.
let me ask you an honest question. Are we the bullies mad that the nerd got the gun? Or do we want the principle to be back to the same where we spoke and everybody else just had to listen? So I like that everybody got a voice because you understand. But for me it's like I know they wasn't men, but the fact they got a voice don't intimidate me because they don't say it in person. They say it in fantasy. So a person can say what they want on social media because they would never say it to my face.
No doubt. That's what I say. When you plugged into the Matrix, that's one thing. You could, because in the Matrix, Neo could fly.
He can dodge
bullets. You know what I'm saying? He can do all type of shit in the Matrix. But when you unplug, oh man.
But have you considered the most honest thing about all of this? Maybe some people ain't strong enough to not be a sheep. So I understand. Because it's a lot to watch this shit and swallow it every day. That take a certain level. Like I watch women with 7 kids make it. Period. So to a certain degree I understand. Nah, that's you know how anxiety ridden and you know how strong you gotta be to survive that many personalities and still be able to smile and please a man. Shit. That's strength.
Yeah.
I'm just dodging drama.
And
I feel you though.
and real quick, I don't want to cut you out, but based off of what you say, is just something. Let it be clear, like to me, women are the strongest creatures on the planet. To me, women are stronger than men, period. I think so. You know what I mean? That's just my...
You asked me a question, why I write poetry. Because when I went to prison and did 13 years, women, multiple, loved me for shit I never was. I was a piece of shit. You know, used to pick up chicks with my side chick. I ain't care.
But the words made them think.
No. The potential of what I could be. I was a piece of shit. They knew it. But they felt enough pieces of me that was good. They held on through all that bullshit.
Women can tell when a man got potential. Something.
I did 13 years and never missed a visit or a commissary in 13 years. Week for week. 2 visits. Some jail you was allowed 3 visits. Every week. Yeah, I promise you. Never missed it. And that's no exaggeration. And I didn't earn it. I had to correct myself.
Some niggas don't get no visits.
And to make no mistake, I'm still not right because I come home and got to deal with different levels of other things. But I'm appreciative and I'm not mad for that reason at least. I still got other rage issues. We black. Shit. But you know.
I felt you when you said that about like trying to not show people the smart side of you, cause like, and he'll feel me on this, like, cause he came to me with the singing shit. When I first started rapping, I ain't want niggas to know I could sing and shit. Like when I was doing
I
the
didn't
Wit
know
Life,
you could sing till
when
just
I was
now.
doing when I was doing the Wit Life shit.
That you probably ain't know that's him singing on my CD.
No.
When
That's
I
him
was
singing
doing the
on
Wit Life CD, you know what I'm saying? I'm around all these hood niggas and shit. I'm like, I ain't gonna
Because
tell
singing
them.
wasn't cool then.
Yeah, it wasn't cool.
You know what I'm saying?
I ain't want niggas to look at me like I was soft or some shit. You know what I mean? Then once I got older, I'm like, man, the bitches love singing and shit. Like,
Yes.
what the
And
fuck?
that's how I was, because
Nigga,
when
you could do it.
when I was growing up, when I was younger, I was able to sing. But then I was just like, I just kept hearing like motherfuckers like, oh, you sing, you gay. If you a singer, you're gay. And da 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 da.
Like
I'm
even
like,
when school and the
not
choir
fucking
and
singing
shit,
no more.
you know, the chorus and shit in school and shit. Yeah, we
Yeah.
singing it, but we was fucking around, cutting up like,
Yeah.
like, you
It's
know
like
what I'm
Skylar
saying?
said, we let
if I
Dave
knew what I
influence
knew
us.
now, if I knew what I knew now, when I was younger and I was able to
Yeah.
sing, I would have stuck with singing.
Listen,
You know what I'm saying? Like I would have still worked on my voice.
Hey,
Coming
everybody
up.
always say if I knew what I knew now. What if you didn't know what you knew now and you had to survive now? Would you make it?
I've always wondered that.
Like what I am now is, you understand? Like I've survived. I've
Basically-
survived shootings, I've survived trials, I've survived prison, I've survived. If I go right, if I go left, not right, I don't know if I can survive that.
Do you mean like if like
no, cause shit
revert,
affect
if you
people.
revert back to like a kid again or something
No,
like
yeah.
and like had to start over again,
Yeah.
but in this time, is that what you mean?
No, like meaning period. If you had enough knowledge to start back before, I'm gonna just say before you remember your first mistake, and mine started at like 11 years old. So if you could go back to where you still had a chance, like I lost my clean slate. I've been to every juvenile, county, state, whatever.
Yeah.
But I lost my chance at 12, 13. I come from the New Jersey Drive era. We was stealing everything.
Yeah.
So, but if you could go back to your first mistake, would you change the course of your life or would you keep your life?
I think I would change
Fuck,
the
I'm
course.
sorry, man, and they gonna be mad at me, but yeah,
I think I would change the course.
and without, I never went to jail or nothing, but my take on it was I had kids at 16, so I never had a chance to ever be a kid, like to be 20 young and go, you know what I mean, go to the club and shit. It was I always had parents on me like, oh, you gotta be a dad, you gotta be a father.
That's
So
the
to
question,
me-
ain't it?
So to me, it was always like.
I would.
Like that would I be
You know what I'm
saying
saying?
I would, but I was like be like I love me. You know what I'm saying? I love me, and if I was to go back and say do this, like I love me, I love my kids, I love my grandkids. Like what if I
It would mess up
make
the
it
course.
you know what I mean? Go back and I decide to go left and not right, and then I never meet my baby's moms. You see what I'm saying? Like so.
You know,
I mean, it is what it is. You
Yeah,
know what I mean?
I
It
feel
is
you.
what it is.
That would be a
I made the
crazy-ass
mistakes
movie,
I made.
though.
It is what it
That
is.
would
I
be a
made
dope ass movie.
the butterfly effect.
Basically going
The
back.
butterfly effect.
which
remember?
one though?
He kept
I only
going.
like
The first one.
The Kutcher one.
Yeah, the first one.
yeah,
The other
yeah.
ones got weird.
Yeah.
The other ones got goofy. That first one was
I
good
ain't
as
never seen the
hell
other
because through his no, there was sequels. There was sequels.
Yeah, it's like
Through his notebook.
Yeah, I didn't see
You
the
never
sequels.
seen
now
it?
they
I
got
never
the
seen the
butterfly
sequels.
paradox.
I haven't seen the
Yeah, see the
sequel,
first one.
and
Yeah.
I only seen it like one time.
But that's
I
what
love
that
the first
movie
one
is
'cause-
based off. Wherever he read in this shit,
That's how I
he could
said he
take
was doing
himself
this
back
book.
to there, and he kept going back because the way life was, he kept saying to himself, like, if I could go back, if I wouldn't have did that, then this wouldn't have happened, then that wouldn't have happened, and then he kept going back, making different decisions, but every decision led to something else fucked up happening. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah.
And to the end, what the
Wasn't
nigga
his
do?
girl- wasn't
He
his
killed
boy fucking
himself.
his girl or something
He
like
killed
that?
himself in the womb, didn't he? At the end, didn't he strangle himself with the umbilical cord?
I can't remember. I
Yeah,
seen
He
it
was
like
trying to go
one
back to
time.
the earliest memory. Or
Yeah, that was
yeah.
him, and you know what I mean. I think he
Yeah.
tried to kill himself.
I went. You know what's crazy? I thought about it because I could have been anything. Like I said, if somebody would push me towards education, I could have been whatever. Well, here's the thing. My pain led me to the fact that I could speak, and me speaking led me to the fact that I could write. Now I found my gift because I know I was born to do this. Period. And that's a fact. So everything I've been to led me to my design. So what I've been through got to be by design. But if you a sheep, you ain't walking by design, you walking by habit. You walking by being compliant. And
Like
that's
on
why
something like
people...
when people say this all I know.
Yeah,
You know
but
what
when
I'm
he
saying?
said he felt different, I felt different because I'm not the same because I can't believe that bullshit everybody followed me. I took my GED without ever making it to high school. For real, basically. So you telling me the rest of that shit necessary. This is social programming for real. But the moment I stepped away from it, I became real. Then I became weird, then I became criminal. Because the first time I went to jail was for skipping school, not for committing crime.
It's Josie's boy.